Have you ever tried to apologize and ended up having another argument? It goes like this. I'm sorry, babe.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't really reacted the way you did. That's the whole reason why you got so heated.
Well, it's not my fault you were mean to begin with.
I wasn't. See, apologizing can be a lot more tricky than we think. If not done right, it could cause conflicts, misunderstandings, and oftentimes, as you saw, they can be a trigger for another heated conversation. So if you want to avoid these situations and actually resolve the problem, you need to know how to apologize effectively, and we're going to tell you 6 do's and don'ts. So let's go back to the first apology that I just made. I said to him, sorry, but also followed up with, the way he reacted is the cause of the conversation being heated. Now, what was his reaction?
Immediately got defensive and started telling you what you did wrong.
That's right. You need to remember it takes 2 to have an argument no matter what, and you played a role in it. So try not to put blame on your partner and start the conversation by acknowledging your own mistakes and the things you could have done differently. That being said, the first thing you should remember when you apologize is take ownership. And when you do, it's also important to do this without any excuses or justifications. So on top of the apology that I made earlier, apologies like, I'm sorry if you got offended by that. These are not really effective either, because these make your partner feel blamed for how they feel and builds resentment. Instead, say something like, I'm sorry for raising my voice, assuming things, and blaming you for it, and I take full responsibility for that. Be specific with your actions and try to acknowledge how it affected your partner.
The second thing to do is to empathize with your partner. I didn't mean it the way it came out. You need to chill, okay? I used to say this a lot and learned that it fuels the arguments. Also, let me tell you, it never works to tell someone to chill when they're angry or frustrated.
Yes, you will most likely get the reaction of, don't tell me to chill.
What triggers and hurts people is different for everybody. It's always better not to assume things impacted your partner the same way that it impacted you. What emotions did it stir up? Put yourself in your partner's shoes. You do this to try and understand how they were impacted and express that understanding in your apology. For example, I know my actions hurt you and made you feel sad. And to you, that was a big part of our conversation. I'm truly sorry for that. Minimizing their feelings will not show any empathy or show the regret that you feel.
Next, let's talk about this kind of apology. I'm sorry, babe. Let's just go out to lunch or something and forget about it. Now, making light of what happened can possibly make your partner feel belittled for the hurt they went through. So the third tip on how to apologize is express genuine regret. Go beyond just a sorry. Show them you understand the weight of your mistake. Saying phrases like, I'm so sorry for the pain that I caused you, or I deeply regret my behavior and I mean it. That can show your genuine regret. So I'm not saying changing the mood is bad, it's great. But if you want to move on to that phase, involve your partner in planning. Ask them, what can we do to make our day better from now?
Explaining the situation can be helpful, but don't use it as an excuse to minimize your actions. I'm just stressed out with work and you don't know what it's like.
I'm stressed out from my work too and you don't know what it is like.
Our fourth tip is avoid making excuses. It often turns into a battle of who has it harder. And since nobody goes through the same exact day, it just becomes an argument with no end in sight. Focus on taking responsibility and expressing remorse rather than just justifying your own behavior. Avoid shifting blame. Instead, show genuine regret for hurting your partner. Once the feelings are settled, you can explain your background thoughts and how the chain reaction happened in your mind so they can better understand the situation. However, remember both you and your partner's emotions and experiences can be validated without using your situation to make an excuse or minimize your partner's feelings.
Now let's talk about this one that happens often in couples conversation. I don't know why we argued so bad last night. That was weird. Let's just not do that again. This way of apologizing or resolving the problem doesn't really give you a true understanding of why the fight happened. But you do need to understand that to prevent from happening in the future. So instead of ending the conversation like that, our fifth tip for how to apologize is ask questions and listen. Here are some examples of questions that you can ask. Why did it turn into an argument at all? Was there something that triggered you or your partner in the conversation or in their actions? Or could it be because you were both tired and cranky? Or was there some alcohol involved? Talk about it and know the reason and have a plan of how to do it differently next time. Now, the second part of this tip is very, very important. When you ask these questions, listen actively. That means give your partner space to express their feelings without interrupting. Accept how the fight affected them and validate it. This shows that you value their perspective and it will lead to have an open conversation with them. Now let's be real. Sometimes it could be hard to hear how your words or actions hurt them so badly. But remember, this is a big step towards bonding and healing together. Accepting the fact that you made a mistake will make you a better partner already, and it helps you to understand how to do things differently in the future.
This leads to our sixth tip, offer repair. Well, that fight sucked, but I gotta go now. See you later. What makes the difference for successful relationships is that you use these conflicts as an opportunity to learn and grow. This means that the apologies need to be accompanied by action. This could involve a sincere gesture, taking responsibility for a task, or simply finding more moments to give kind words. But remember that this is to add on to your sincere apology, so don't just come back home with flowers and think everything is going to be okay. Make sure both of your feelings have been communicated. Ask your partner what you can do to make things right, or how you can do things differently to prevent this from happening in the future. Commit to working on the relationship with an intention on growing from mistakes or arguments that happen. With these 6 tips on how to apologize effectively, not only will you avoid damaging the relationship, but you will also be able to grow a healthier and stronger bond with your partner. But remember, a forced apology can do more harm than good for both. Make sure your words and actions express the true regret and desire to heal the relationship. Don't apologize when you're still feeling defensive or angry.
Let us know down in comments if you learned something new or you already knew these. Share this with your partner and don't forget to like and subscribe.